Seated in any comfortable position for you. If you wish, you can always use blocks or blankets to place underneath your hips to help take a little bit of pressure off the hips. And let's start by lowering or closing our eyes. Take a moment to notice the sensation of the earth beneath you. Noticing your breath. Perhaps taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. On your exhales, releasing anything that's come before now, anything you don't need, or any thoughts about the future. See if you can stay present in your breath. So I'm going to invite you to use a bit of meditation, mantra as you breathe, and then I'll explain why you're using this as we go through. So as you inhale, I invite you to inhale yes. And as you exhale, exhaling, thank you. Inhaling yes and exhaling thank you. So our class today is inspired by something Thich Nhat Hanh said. This is a reminder to say yes and to thank you to whatever the present moment has gifted us. So in a way, it's an opportunity for surrendering and acceptance. We can learn to say yes to things that are amazing in our lives and to say thank you. But also, we can say yes to the uncomfortable parts of our lives. It doesn't mean necessarily that we approve of something that is happening, but we can accept that it is happening, especially those things that are out of our control. Yes, thank you. Okay. So as we go through our practice today, see if you can say yes to many of the moments, even those moments that are challenging, and find gratitude for being in that challenge, for whatever it teaches you. Right, so taking 3 more rounds of breath. And then whenever you're ready, opening the windows of your eyes. Okay, so let's start with some shoulder rolls here. On your inhale, rolling your shoulders up towards your ears, and on your exhales, rolling your shoulders back and down your spine. All right, so 2 more times here. All right, shoulders remain back and down your spine. And then we're going to find some seated cat-cow. So hands come to your knees or your thighs. And when you're ready, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, really try and arch the back away from you. And then moving in the opposite direction, shoulders roll back and down. Imagine a string pulling your heart up towards the sky. And just continue moving at your own pace with your own breath. All right, so let's go one more time in each direction. All right, then we'll come back to center. We'll make some movements to the side. So right hand comes down to the earth. Maybe your fingers are tented or on a block if you need. Left palm faces up towards the sky, keeping your shoulders roll back and down your spine, and then allowing your arm to reach up and over, finding length along your left side body. If it's in your body, maybe you walk your right hand away from you a little more. Maybe the right forearm comes to the earth as long as both hips stay on the earth. Feel length here along the left side. Looking any direction that feels the best for you in your neck. Staying connected with your breath. So it's during these moments of perhaps, I don't know, a good gentle feeling, a good feeling in the body, that it's easier to say yes and thank you. Okay, so one more round of breath here. And then on your inhale, come up to center, and exhale, coming over to the other side. Top shoulder rolls back and down your spine. And just take a quick notice, see if it feels like your chest is rolling down towards the earth. We want to try and roll it out in front or even up towards the sky. Let's find 2 more rounds of breath. And then on your next inhale, come back up to center. Okay, so from here, let's bring the legs out long and wide, activating both feet and finding your sits bones, that comfortable place to sit, sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to find circles. So we're going to reach out and around. So just go as far as you feel comfortable. Feet stay active. And then going in the opposite direction if you haven't already. So one more time. And then we'll come back to center. Okay, so we're going to bring our feet to the earth, knees are bent. Okay, so it's a little stretch here for the shoulders, and you're going to go just as far as you feel comfortable. So we're going to bring our hands behind us, palms face back. Okay, shoulders roll back and down the spine, and then perhaps you, again, imagine that string pulling your heart up towards the sky. So you have options here for more of a stretch. Perhaps you keep your hands where they are and maybe scooch yourself down a little bit closer to your feet. You may walk your feet away a little bit. So nice and gentle, keep the shoulders roll back and down. One more round of breath here. And then perhaps scooching your sits bones back and then coming back to seated. So we'll come easy seated pose. And then we're going to cross our hands. So right hand to left knee, left hand to right knee. Maybe your knees are too far apart like mine are to reach. Just as far as you feel comfortable. And then you're going to round your spine and tuck your chin. Okay, so we're going to keep the right hand on the left side. Release the left hand and then bring the left hand back behind you. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to turn. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, come back to center, crossing your arms. Maybe change the cross of the arms. Whichever one is in front becomes the one that's behind. Round your spine, tuck your chin. On your next inhale, right hand releases from the left knee, coming up to a straight spine, bringing the right hand behind you and turning. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to come back to center. Okay, so this next pose, you have an option. You can, if the pose itself doesn't feel good for you, you can return to this variation that we came into for a shoulder stretch. If you're comfortable doing so, you're going to cross your knees, hands come behind you, fingers point away, shoulders roll back and down your spine, and then lifting up onto your knees if you can. Send the hips up. You're going to feel maybe something in the thighs and the hips. Only go up as far as you feel comfortable. One more round of breath. And then gently lowering back down. Okay. So we'll find a couple shoulder rolls here. Inhale, shoulders roll up towards your ears, and exhale, shoulders roll back and down your spine. All right, and then we'll change the cross of our legs if your legs are crossed. So whichever one is in front becomes the one that's behind. So same thing as before, fingers point away. And then whenever you're ready, lift your hips. Or maybe you have feet on the earth, knees are bent. Oh, notice how it feels different on this side now that you've changed the cross of your legs. It may not, you may just feel the same thing, but. All right, and exhale to lower. Okay, a couple more shoulder rolls here, releasing any tension that you feel. Okay, wonderful. So let's make our way into a tabletop pose. Wrists are underneath what are they called? Shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. Oh, it's going to be one of those classes. Okay. So child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, sitting your hips back. And then I invite you to bring your arms back by your feet, palms face up. Head comes to the earth if it reaches. If not, maybe grab a blanket or something to place underneath the forehead. So taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. All right, 2 more rounds of breath. And then making your way back into your tabletop pose. All right, curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. As much of a bend in your knees as you need. Perhaps you pedal out your feet. Inhale, yes. And exhale, thank you. Making your way towards the front of your mat into a forward fold. So maybe arms dangle here, or if you don't have any discomfort or, injuries in your neck, maybe you clasp your hands behind your head, tuck your elbows in by your sides, and tuck your chin in toward your chest. So remember, keep a bend in your knees as much as you need so there's no discomfort. Whenever you're ready, releasing your hands. We'll come into a halfway lift. Hands come to shins or thighs. Nice flat back. Rolling the shoulders back and down the spine. Find equal weight in the four corners of your feet. Draw the belly button in. Crown of the head reaches forward. On your next exhale, forward fold. Arms come out to the side, reverse swan dive up, extended mountain. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. And exhale, hands coming to heart center. Take a moment to find your mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart. Imagine squeezing a block between your thighs. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. Crown of your head reaches high. All right, so inhale, extended mountain. We're going to find cactus arms, slight tuck of the tailbone, and if it's comfortable for you, open the heart up towards the sky. Find a couple rounds of breath. And then inhale, arms reach up, extended mountain. And exhale, swan diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale into a chair. So sending the tailbone down towards the earth. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Shining the heart forward. Oh dear. All right, we're going to hold chair for a little bit. So remember last week we talked about breathing through it. Even if you feel like your legs are starting to get tired, see if you can hold it for a couple more breaths. And as you do that, maybe you say yes to this pose, this feeling, and thank you. Can you sit a little lower? Just can imagine a bunch of you saying, no. Sorry. All right, one more round of breath. Yes, thank you. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Let's take a big step back here with the right foot. And we'll come into warrior one. So right foot comes down to the earth, toes point up towards the top right corner. We want a wide stance, right foot to the right side, left foot to the left. Squeezing your inner thighs towards center as you rise. So see if you can square your hips towards the front of the room. So know that warrior one doesn't always feel good for everyone. Depending on what you feel, knee, this right leg. If you need to, you can try a wider stance. So feet out to the sides, maybe a slightly shorter stance, feet come closer, or even though it's more work, coming up on your toes for a high lunge. All right, so slight tuck of the tailbone. Check to make sure the front knee is over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. Okay, let's bring our hands back behind us, clasping our hands. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, folding towards the inside of the left thigh. Perhaps the hands come up towards the sky. And know that if you can't reach your hands towards each other, maybe you just grab a hold of opposite elbows. Still bending into that front knee. Maybe you say yes to any quivering in your legs. And thank you. One more round of breath. And then coming up with the flat back, leading with your hands. Release your hands. Arms reach back up towards the sky. Shoulders roll back and down. Okay. We'll come into pyramid pose. So we'll straighten the front leg and just walking the back foot in about a step. Okay, so front leg has a slight micro bend in the knee. Turning towards the front of the mat, inhale to lengthen your spine and exhale, folding forward with a flat back. So notice what's going on with your left hip. We often want to pop it out to the side. See if you can roll it back. Left hip back, right hip forward. Maybe you stay here. Maybe hand comes to your thigh, your shin. Perhaps you find blocks or the earth. If it's really uncomfortable, stepping the back foot in a little bit. Remember, no sharp shooting pain, no burning sensation. But yes, thank you to that stretch in the body. Feel your breath. Notice if things start to kind of shift a little bit as you're in this pose. Maybe those outer layers of muscles start to soften and some inner layers start to stretch. Okay, 2 more rounds of breath. And then slight micro bend in the front knee. Come on up and come up to the top of your mat, mountain pose. On your inhale, extended mountain, shoulders roll back and down. Slight tuck of your tailbone. Exhale, arms to cactus arms, opening the heart up towards the sky. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. And exhale, forward fold. Let's take a big step back with the left foot, setting up for warrior one on this side. Wide stance. Squeeze your inner thighs as you rise, trying to square your hips towards the front of the mat. Sending the tailbone down towards the earth. Find 2 more rounds of breath. And then hands come behind you, reversing the clasp of whatever you do naturally. So opposite clasp, maybe you grab a hold of opposite elbows instead. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold towards the front of the right thigh. Perhaps the arms reach up towards the sky. Still bend into that front knee. So humble warrior. Inhaling, yes. Woo. Exhaling, thank you. On your next inhale, see if you can come up with a flat back. Releasing the arms back up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down. Okay, then we're going to take a step forward here with the left foot, straightening the right leg, slight micro bend in the knees, squaring the hips once again. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and exhale, folding forward with a flat back. Rolling the right hip back, left hip forward. Hands come wherever's comfortable. Taking deep inhales. Long, slow exhales. So we can say yes, thank you to many parts of our lives. We can say yes to a condition or situation, to a relationship, history, or something inside the mind. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like it. Your yes means that you accept the facts as they are, that you are not resisting them emotionally, even if you are trying with all your might to change them. This will usually bring you some kind of peace and will help any actions you take to be more effective. One more round of breath here. Slight micro bend in the front knee. Come on back up. Arms reach up towards the sky, and then stepping forward into mountain pose. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Lowering or closing your eyes. Taking a moment to just be present with your feet on the earth. Perhaps saying yes, thank you to the earth that holds us all here today. All right, releasing anything you feel in your body, shaking anything out if you need to. Then we're going to come into a tree pose. So we'll start here. Again, feet are hip distance apart. We start with our mountain, squeezing the inner thigh, shoulders roll back and down the spine, crown of the head reaches tall. And whenever you're ready, shifting your weight over into your left foot. Find the four corners of your feet, so equal balance in all parts of your feet, minus the toes. And then allowing your right knee to come up, right foot comes off the earth. Sending the knee out towards the side. Maybe your toes are on the floor. Maybe your foot comes to your shin. Or maybe your foot comes above your knee, as long as it's not on your knee anywhere. Okay. Arms come wherever is comfortable for you. Perhaps it's up towards the sky. Maybe it's hands to heart center. Whatever you feel like doing, hands can be by your sides. So notice also what's going on with the left hip. We often pop the hip out towards the side. So we want to tuck it under, stand nice and tall, send the knee out. So if you find tree pose to be a little bit easy for you today, maybe try looking up. And perhaps you say, yes, thank you, to stumbling out or to swaying in this pose. Anytime I'm in tree and I start to move, I just think, trees sway in the wind. It's fine. All right, one more round of breath here. And then releasing, coming back to your mountain pose. Maybe you shake out your left foot first, left leg. All right, so tree pose on the other side, finding mountain. Shifting your weight into your right foot. Left foot comes up. Find your variation of tree on this side. Tucking the right hip under. Allowing the crown of the head to reach tall. Maybe you look up. Maybe you close your eyes. Two more rounds of breath. And releasing your tree. Perhaps you shake out your right leg. And then find your way towards the front of your mat once again. Mountain pose. Inhaling up, extended mountain, a slight tuck of the tailbone. Exhale, hands come to cactus arms. Perhaps the heart opens towards the sky. Find a couple breaths here. And then inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, drawing the navel in. So we're going to stay in our halfway lift. Crown of the head reaches towards the front of the room, rolling the shoulders back and down the spine. Imagine there's a string pulling the belly button up towards the sky. Find equal weight in the four corners of your feet. Find your breath. On your next inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Sit down into your chair. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Heart shines forward. And on your next exhale, forward fold. All right, let's take a big step back with the right foot, but lowering the right knee to the earth. So we're going to stay in this low lunge here, making sure your knee is over your ankle in line with your second or third toe. And then we don't want to sink into it and just kind of be, floppy. I don't know. We want to reach the crown of the head forward. So lengthen the spine. Maybe you come up on your fingertips or blocks if you need to. And then try not to let the left knee drop out towards the side. We want to keep it aligned over top of the ankle. One more round of breath here. All right, so if you came to class on Saturday, we did this on Saturday, so you have options here. We're going to bring our hands first to the earth, walking the left foot over towards the left side of the mat. Turn the toes out towards the left side, keeping the left foot active. Okay, so we're not going to drop the knee out, but we're going to have a little bit of wiggle room, I guess you can say. All right, so you have a choice. You can keep the right knee down or come up on your toes of your right foot. Knee comes up off the earth. Wherever you are, walking your hands over towards the right corner of your mat. Maybe arms come off. You come down as far as you feel comfortable. So if you want, the upper body can be kind of like a downward dog. So melting the heart down, arms reach out nice and long. One more round of breath. And walking your hands back. All right, let's come into tabletop pose and into child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Any variation for your arms that feels comfortable for you. And perhaps you say, yes, thank you to this moment of rest. See if you can embrace it in the same way that you embrace movement. Making your way back into your tabletop pose. Then we're going to find all of that on the other side. So let's step the right foot forward, low lunge here. Knee is over the ankle. Maybe you're on your fingertips. Draw the belly button in, straighten your spine, crown of your head reaches forward. Now, if this doesn't really feel like very much to you, if you want a little bit of challenge, next time I'll offer this on the other side too. Curling the back toes under, lift the knee. Still reaching the head forward. Keeping the knee over the ankle. Okay, if your knee is up off the earth, drop the back knee. Allowing the right foot to come over towards the right side of the mat, hands to the inside of the right foot. Toes point out towards the right side. Keep that right foot active. Hands walk over towards the left side. Go as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe you curl the back toes under, pick up the back knee. Go as, maybe hands come out a little further and you melt your heart down. Can you hold it for 2 more breaths? And then dropping your back knee if it's not down, walking your hands back. We're going to come back into a tabletop pose and then back into child's pose. All right, gently making your way back into tabletop and then slowly making your way down onto your front body. So first, let's find a baby cobra. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Tuck the elbows, looking down at the earth. Reach the toes away and then placing the tops of the feet on the earth. Gently lifting your heart. Find your breath. Perhaps you bring your hands up off the earth, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Beautiful. Exhale, lower. If you need to, bend your knees, windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Right, so this next one, maybe it would be helpful to watch me do it first because you're going to be laying face down. It might be hard to see me. Okay, so the way this one works is we bring our arms out in front, head is on the earth. Can't because of my mic. We're going to activate our arms, so making fists. Arms are nice and strong here. And then we're slowly going to roll over. We'll start towards the left side. Our feet are going to naturally want to scissor out. So we're not moving our feet really, they're just kind of scissoring out. And then you're gonna roll the upper body. Oh, I got something in my way. And let's try it this way. All right. Keeping the right hand active here. So that hand that comes behind you stays active. All right, so if you want, if you haven't done it already, we're gonna be on the belly. Arms are active, make a fist. Slowly start to roll over onto your left side. Allow your legs to scissor apart, keeping the right side active. Your hand may not come to the floor, it's totally okay, but see if you can still relax that shoulder, the right shoulder. You might feel a bit of a twist here in the mid-back. One more round of breath. And then slowly rolling back over onto your front body. Feet come back together. So again, activate the arms, make fists. From here, slowly rolling over towards the right side. Allow the legs to scissor apart. Left arm comes back behind you. So it doesn't matter how far you twist, as long as it's comfortable. One more round of breath. And then slowly making your way back over onto your front body. Okay, making your way into a tabletop pose. And find a couple rounds of cat-cow. Round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, really arching your back. And then moving in the opposite direction. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Take your time with this pose, moving nice and slow. All right, and then whenever you're ready, making your way into Shavasana or any final resting pose that feels good for you lying on the earth. With every exhale, perhaps you are able to soften your body a little more. Allow it to sink down towards the earth, releasing any tension that you feel in your forehead, your jaw, your shoulders, and your hips. So the little bit that I read earlier in the middle of class and what I'm going to read now is from Just One Thing, Developing a Buddha Brain One Simple Practice at a Time by Rick Hansen. Okay, so how do we say yes? Say yes to something you like. Then yes to something that is neutral. And both of these are probably easy. Then can you say yes to something you don't like? As you do this, try to feel a sense that you are okay, fundamentally even though what you dislike exists. Also, try to feel some acceptance in your yes, some surrender to the facts as they are, whether you like them or not. Try saying yes to more things that are not your preference. You're not saying yes, you approve them, but for example, yes, it's raining at my picnic. Yes, people are poor and hungry across the planet. Yes, my career is stalled. Yes, that's the way it is. Yes to being in traffic. Yes to the job you have. Yes to the body you have. Yes to the twists and turns in your life so far, large and small, good, bad, and indifferent, past, present, and future. Yes to what you had for breakfast. Yes to moving someplace new. Yes to having children or not having them. Say yes to what arises in your mind. Yes to the feelings, sensations, thoughts, images, memories, desires. Yes, even to things that need to be restrained, such as an angry impulse, undeserved criticism. Say yes to all the parts of the people in your life. Yes to your friend's flakiness amidst her humor and patience. Yes to another friend's sincerity amidst her irritability and criticalness. Yes to every bit of a relative, friend, distant acquaintance, and adversary. And yes to different parts of yourself, whatever they are. Not picking and choosing right now, but saying yes. Yes to whatever is inside of you. Feel your yes in your body. To adapt a method from Thich Nhat Hanh, breathe in, feel something positive. Breathe out, say yes. Breathe in energy. Breathe out yes. Breathe in calm. Breathe out yes. Say yes to your needs. Yes to the need for some more time for yourself, for more love, and for less anger. Try saying no to these needs in your mind or out loud and see how it feels. And then say yes to them again. Say yes to actions. And notice your no's. And then see what happens if you say yes to some of the things you've previously said no to. Say yes to being alive. Yes to life. Yes to your own life. Yes to each year, each day, and each minute. Imagine that life is whispering yes. Yes to all beings and yes to you. Everything you've said yes to is saying yes to you. Even the things you've said no to are saying yes to you. Each breath, each heartbeat, each surge across a synapse, each one says yes. Yes, all saying yes. Yes. Gently bringing your awareness back into the room. Perhaps making some small movements in your fingers and toes. Maybe you roll around wrists and ankles. Stretching if that feels good for you. In your own time, making your way to seated, and once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Inhaling yes, and exhaling thank you. May you go in peace, love, and gratitude. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful